Okay, I told you we have a good guest, and joining us now from Denver, Colorado, is William Trackman, General Counsel of the Mountain States Legal Foundation. He is very, very familiar with the Justice Department. So, to me, a simple man just sitting here, I think the Justice Department under Merrick Garland is corrupt. Am I wrong?
Well, I don't usually go out of my way to defend Merrick Garland. He called parents domestic terrorists and is trying to regulate your Second Amendment rights. Here, he came off looking actually relatively well because Mr. Hur testified that it was the Biden White House that tried to leverage their relationship with Merrick Garland to change his report, to interfere with his findings. And it was Garland who stood up to Biden and gave him all the tools and resources he needed to complete this report. So I was impressed, at least, with Mr. Hur's testimony that Merrick Garland had his back against the Biden administration, which was trying to tinker with his findings and his report.
Okay, but Merrick Garland, as I mentioned, had a reason to do that, because if he went along with the Biden administration, he would have been destroyed. He's already shaky. But the outcome of the Hur investigation, of the FBI Russian collusion investigation, as opposed to the outcome of the Trump document, Mar-a-Lago thing, that doesn't really stack to me. Does it stack to you?
Well, that's the tension here, right? Because you have both political candidates having retained classified documents and shared them. And so why prosecute one but not the other? So Hur made a couple of key distinctions between cooperation and whether the person had really intended to take the documents and share them, that being more provable with Trump, allegedly, than with Biden. He got hung up on this word willfully, whether he could really establish beyond a reasonable doubt that Biden willfully did all these things. But of course, you get no benefit just for being an old person or being a sympathetic person who's lost their son. There is tension there that's irreconcilable. And the only thing that Mr. Hur was able to say was, I couldn't in good faith put this before a jury and be confident that I could prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And that was the end. That was the end of his conclusion.
Okay, but that's not his job. His job is to present the evidence to grand jury, and they'll decide. Now, when you say willfully, I mean, to me, I shred that argument in 30 seconds. Biden had motive. The book, $8 million contract. Wouldn't you say that's motive?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
It goes further.
Biden had motive.
In history.
So, can't say he didn't do it willfully if he has motive. And he took the documents to write the book. Then, against federal law, he shows the documents to a civilian, his ghostwriter. Nobody's disputing that. Okay? So willfully, he willfully showed the documents to the ghostwriter. That's two willfullies right there. So how can Hur say he didn't willfully do it?
Right. Well, it's not just the money. It's also the...
No. But my question is, how can Hur make the statement that Biden didn't do this willfully when I just proved that he did twice?
Right. So Biden is concerned with both the money and his place in history. But Mr. Hur concluded that he couldn't prove that this was willful beyond a reasonable doubt.
Why? It is willful. You could see it's willful. Anybody could see it.
Well, I agree with you, but here the report is a recommendation, and he recommends to Merrick Garland.
All right.
I can't prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. So it's a cop-out. No question.
I can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm not even an attorney. So you come back to the initial question. If it's obviously willful, whereas motive and execution are demonstrable, and the special counsel says he can't prove it is willful, the special counsel's not telling the truth. When you have a position in authority in any department and the person won't tell the truth, that's corruption. Am I wrong?
Well, I don't think Mr. Hur can be classified as corrupt. I think he reached a good faith result that he thought was at
Disagree.
least... Well, the outcome of his extensive investigation was this. I agree with you that it seems like a strong case on willfully. He went back again and again over the course of a 5-hour testimony saying, look, I'm just writing a report to Merrick Garland, and I don't think that you can prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't think the charges are warranted.
But you could say that about anybody. You could say that about Charles Manson. Okay? So when the evidence is so stunning, all right, that there's motive, there's opportunity, there's execution of a violation of federal law, and then the prosecutor says, even though that's apparent to everyone, I don't think it was willful, that's a corrupt act, in my opinion. Now, this is more of a speculation on my part, but I want to hear your opinion of it. So Merrick Garland knows that his boss, Joe Biden's a corrupt man. He has to at this point. Okay, with Hunter Biden. Remember, Merrick Garland signed off on the Hunter Biden plea deal that was thrown out by a federal judge. Everybody should remember that. And the plea deal, I'm sure you would admit, is ridiculous. It was a ridiculous deal that Hunter Biden could never again be charged with any crime, even if new evidence was discovered. Would you cede that point, that the plea deal was ridiculous?
Yes, and it was appropriate to throw it out for that very reason that you
all right. So Merrick Garland signed off on that. Attorney General of the United States said, that's okay with me. So you add up the evidence that was compiled against Joe Biden in the documents case, and then you go over to the Hunter Biden case, and you got Merrick Garland in charge of both cases. How could you not think that he is not a corrupt man?
Well, like I said from the beginning, I'm not going to go out of my way to defend Merrick Garland. He's again the one that had his U.S. attorneys investigate whether parents are domestic terrorists. So this is someone who's got a track record of actually having quite a few problems in terms of due process. In this sliver of a role, it sounded like Mr. Hur was defending his lack of intervention in response to the Biden administration. But you are absolutely right to point out these irregularities within the Justice Department about Hunter Biden, about President Trump. So we definitely have a track record of DOJ shenanigans going on. Maybe this was the exception, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe you're right that they ought to have tried more to get to this willfully point and to at least take it to a grand jury and go forward. It is just a recommendation after all, although I don't think Merrick Garland will be going forward against
that's never going to happen. All right, Mr. Shachtman, thank you very much. We really appreciate your time. We hope to talk to you again. Thank you. And then when you add into all of this, the Hillary Clinton walk, okay? And that was not under Garland, but it, to me, with the FBI going into the social media, telling them to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story, I mean, how much evidence do you need? How much to say that the Justice Department of the United States is a corrupt entity? It is. And I don't even think Trump, if reelected, would do anything about it. But I could be wrong there. Maybe he'd bring in a reformer to be Attorney General. Bill Barr certainly was not that man, nor was the former senator from Alabama, Sessions. They were not reformers. I don't even know if Trump would go after it. I would. As you know, Mike Lindell has a passion to help you get the best sleep of your life. His famous Giza Dream Sheets are the best sheets you will ever sleep on. For a limited time, get a queen size set for $59.98. King size just $69.98. These are the lowest prices in MyPillow's history. Mike and MyPillow employees continue to be canceled by some big box stores and attacked by the media. They appreciate your great support during these times and want to thank you by giving you free shipping on your entire order today. So please go to mypillow.com or call 800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL. You get the famous Giza Dream Sheets at the lowest prices, so call 800-869-0298 or go to mypillow.com, promo code BILL to get free shipping today. President of Honduras, 8 years, Juan Orlando Hernandez, okay? We sent $1.3 billion in foreign aid to Honduras. He has been convicted in New York of cocaine trafficking at a level that is staggering. 400 tons of cocaine moved through Honduras into the United States. He's convicted now. His brother was also convicted in New York. Honduras extradited them, and he got life. So the former president of Honduras, will probably get life in prison in the United States for being a drug dealer, a big drug dealer. And nobody's covering this, but this is what you got. south of the border. All right. What else do we have here? Smart Life. So, according to the Centers for Disease Control, everybody loves them, right? If you smoke pot every day, you are 25% more likely to have a heart attack. I know people who smoke pot every day. I know people who smoke pot 2-3 times a day. I mean, they can't handle the world and they want to be fogged all the time. Okay, so that's a pretty big number. If you're a daily pot smoker, 25% more likely to have a heart attack. The reason I put this in the Smart Life segment is we've been pounding the don't OD on sugar because it's going to kill you. Sugar. Tobacco will kill you. Sugar will kill you. And drugs will kill you. You know, the myth was, I never bought it, that marijuana was harmless. It's not. And if you're going to pollute your body, and by ingesting intoxicants, you're polluting your body. Now, you can get away with it at a low level, but if you're polluting your body on a regular basis, you're going to get hurt. You are. So I want to bring this to your attention. A lot of people smoking pot now because it's legal and all that. It's not good for you. Might want to think about it. Almost half of American parents still support their children after they are 21 years old. Whoa. Okay. This is savings.com data. All right. So parents cover health, auto insurance, on and on and on and on when the urchins are adults. And parents are shelling out about $1,400 a month on average to keep their kids solvent. Okay? 61% of all adult children who live at home, and there's a slew of them, don't pay any rent, don't contribute. Now, that's the parents' fault. Okay? Flat out, that's the parents' fault. Okay? Now, if the kid just graduated from college or whatever, or got unemployed, yeah, I mean, be benign. But layabouts, no. If they're in the house, and I believe that if they don't have anywhere to go, they should be in your house. I believe in that. But they got to pay. They got to contribute. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation supports America's greatest heroes, U.S. service members, and first responders who gave their lives, those catastrophically injured in the line of duty, and homeless vets. The foundation's Gold Star Fallen First Responder and Homeless Vet programs honor the sacrifices made by men who fought and died for us, and women who risked their lives for our country as well. The foundation's Never Forget program engages people in 9/11 remembrances across America with more than 80 runs, walks, and dozens of golf outings every year. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute educates kids from kindergarten through 12th grade about America's darkest day while helping our nation keep its vow to never forget. So please support Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month. Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. That's T, the number 2, another T.org. In a world where speaking your mind is under siege, I have just the thing for you. Freedom 2O, the bottled water company that champions our voice. Freedom 2O is not your average beverage. It's a statement. I will not be silenced. Freedom 2O stands for the freedom to speak, the freedom to think, the freedom to live. Right now, our freedoms are under attack like never before in our lifetimes. You know that. But we should not go down without a fight. When you drink Freedom 2O, you're sending a message. I will not be silenced. So please go to freedom20.com, use code BILL. Let's make it clear that we are proud of our American rights. So, what are you waiting for? Grab a bottle of Freedom 2O today. Join the movement. Use code BILL for 15% of your purchase at freedom20.com. Smart Life, Christy Brinkley. You know her, most successful model of all time. 70 years old now, lives on Long Island. She went to the dermatologist and had a basal cell carcinoma removed. All right, and she is publicizing it. And it was just lucky because she brought her doctor to the dermatologist, and the doctor saw a spot on Ms. Brinkley's face and said, hey, I got to check this out. And it was precancerous. And she had it removed, and now she's telling everybody to go to a dermatologist. Well, who do you know has been doing that? Right here. I've had 10 of them removed from my body. 10. Any one of which could have killed me. I go to the dermatologist once every 6 months now, sometimes even more than that, if I see something popping up. Because my father died from melanoma because he ignored it. So in Smart Life, I continue, you got to be aware. If you see something that you haven't seen before, there's a mole or something not right, you got to go. You should go anyway. If you're over the age of 50, you should go to a dermatologist anyway, just have a little exam, okay? Medicare covers mine. So congratulations to Chrissy Brinkley for doing that. Most obese cities, chubbiest people in the USA. Here they are. Most obese, McAllen, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Little Rock, Arkansas. What they all have in common, they're in the South. And my theory, and I could be wrong, is so hot in the South that people kind of just stay in the house and they snack. They're not getting enough exercise. But I could be wrong on that, of course. But those are the chubbiest cities. Now, the least overweight cities are Seattle, Honolulu, Boston, Denver, San Jose. All of those places are younger people, outside a lot. Culture is out. Boston, not as much as the others. Seattle is very active. Everybody's got a bike, but they're the least. So I've just upped my daily routine of walking because the terror dog was ill, as I told you. Holly, the terror dog, had a brain tumor removed. And she's okay, stabilized, but she can't do the power walks with me anymore. You have to watch Holly. So now what I'm doing is even more of power walking to get my blood sugar down further, okay? And I do that as many times a week as I can, but minimum 4 times, okay? Sometimes 6. I usually take Sunday off. So if you're not walking, that would be good. Knock the sugar out, walk. You see big changes on the positive side in your life. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.